Hey guys, Chris from Parabolic Signals. I just want to give you an update here. And again, I want you guys to be cautious. And I'm going to show you guys a few things here that I always see in downtrends, uptrends, downtrends, uptrends, and downtrends, so that you guys have a little bit better indication of why I want to see lower highs, which 4 formed above 2, and then higher highs, 5 forming above 3. We are definitely hitting that top of that cycle. If we calculate the amount of days in a yearly cycle between the upswings and the downswings. So if you guys look here, and I'm going to show you guys what I look for in repeating patterns or repeating fractals that kind of give me the warning signs. This whole situation here is a little bit abnormal event for sure. And I believe that the reason that this is pretty abnormal is that it takes a lot more money to push Bitcoin up into these $90,000 to $120,000 ranges. And I don't think that the bigger institutions are buying in yet. And I'm going to show you guys kind of the repeating patterns on a downswing. So if you look at a downswing, if you guys look between 1 and 2, when there's a blow off top, it's almost, you're almost indicative of finding some sort of drop. It's just because the pricing is too violent to the upside. And a lot of people would probably come down here at around 6,000 and say, well, this is a V-shaped recovery, therefore we're going to move up. And these yearly cycles are playing out in a much more fluid way. If you guys look at this big W pattern right here, in which case we broke out, there was some news from Elon, and this whole induced move, I call it an induced bull run, just shot this market upwards. And it typically might not have done that in an uptrend, depending on where this whole confluence happened here. If you guys look at this red line here, it just settled here and just decided to move up. But in a downtrend, some people look for these V-shaped recoveries. So you can see here, this is kind of a W bottom where it recovered only to drop. There's another W pattern over only for it to drop. Again, also here in this 41-day cycle, there was this double W top, but then there was this double top, but with this W pattern. And I'm sure a lot of people thought that it was just going to keep breaking out. But again, it just broke down. Another consolidation phase only for it to break down. Another consolidation phase with this kind of rollover, and then another waterfall drop. And these waterfall drops that you guys see are what concerns me the most. So here's a waterfall drop, waterfall drop, waterfall drop, waterfall drop, another waterfall drop, another waterfall drop. And these are the liquidity providers, the market makers, the guys who are, when they provide the liquidity to the market and the market is not buying, they sell off. So everybody thinks the manipulation is not real, but it absolutely is. And so when I look at this cycle, in order for 6 to form higher than 4, this whole rapid movement to the upside has got to, you could argue to say that this 95-day cycle is the bottom. But if you look at the past bottoming events, they recovered only for it to drop. They recovered only for it to drop. They recovered only for it to drop. And what I'm looking for is these rollover patterns. And if you guys look here, this pattern that we're developing, I'm showing you guys these repeating patterns. This you could argue to say is kind of like a bull flag, and that if we would have jumped up above this bull flag, that we would have hit an all-time high. But as you can see, it started to roll over, and we only hit the middle of this channel. You see the middle of the channel, and before we just had that sudden waterfall drop that took all of 10 days. I see the same repeating event happening. And this is why I try to tell you guys, don't get too excited about this move up. Because Bitcoin, in order for Bitcoin to suddenly not repeat this whole behavior in which it needs to come into an accumulation stage again, Bitcoin needs to bump up here, and it needs to bump out of this channel in order for us to become bullish. Only then can we start to trade to the upside, where we will see a new all-time high, in which case December will play out in the 224-day cycle, which will bring us to about November 19th, November 22nd, something around there, in which case the market will correct at that time. And the swing downwards, it has to form below 5. That's just how the repeating patterns work in an Elliott wave, that there will be a higher high and then a higher low and then a higher high. But if you guys look at these consolidation phases, they always kind of in a downtrend. I'm going to show you guys the downtrend again. I always get caught with that. If you guys look at this downtrend, it is always this kind of W pattern, in which case it just kind of just rolls over. And this rollover business, it catches people out. This is consolidation, there's a little bit of a spike, and then there's this kind of rolling over, consolidation, uptrend, rolling over, and then a final drop. Same here, V-shaped recovery with this rollover, W pattern or cup handle, spike, roll over to the downside, cup, spike, roll over, and it just, this consolidation here, this whole candle here was totally 100% manipulated, and again, just another waterfall drop. So these are the down cycles that I look for: consolidation, spike up, waterfall drop, consolidation, spike up, waterfall drop, consolidation, spike up, waterfall drop. You guys see what I'm seeing here? Do you guys see the repeating pattern? And for me to say that this is the bottom and that we are going to just suddenly run up here would break the cycle pattern. It just, if you go much farther back in history of Bitcoin, these rollover periods are pretty violent periods, in which case the market just rolls over. And this consolidation phase, I believe, if this event, in order for this whole scenario to work out, this event has to happen, believe it or not. This rollover drop to the downside. If we spike up here and we run up to 90,000 in order to finish this cycle, this will be a total break in the cycle pattern. I'm talking about the yearly cycle pattern where we finish off this 224 days. This is an accurate measurement here of this bottom being 6 here. This will be a total break in the pattern, in which case the algorithm will totally change at that point. And this drop, depending on what the market is doing at that point, I mean, will be an incredible spike up, only for it to have this gigantic waterfall drop in order for 6, 7, and then 8 to complete, while the stock markets and all the other markets are sitting way too high in order for this whole scenario to play out. And I'm not saying it can't, you guys. That's not what I'm saying, but I don't like to trade these danger zones. These are all dangerous activity, accumulation activity in downtrends. Dangerous accumulation in downtrend. Dangerous accumulation in a downtrend. Here again, dangerous accumulation where they just fake you out. It rolls over and there's this waterfall drop. Again, V-shaped recovery, accumulation stage, waterfall drop, accumulation stage, and just you can see it. You guys can see the activity in a downtrend in the cycle. And if this is to say that this cycle is completed in 97 days and that we're suddenly running up is a complete breakdown in the yearly cycle. It makes no sense. So again, I see a repeating pattern here. It's like this is the big, I don't know what you want to call this, the Godfather, and this is the tiny son. And the son is just looking to mimic what daddy's doing, kind of. So I'm not saying that this can't break out, but in order for this to happen, it's got to show very, very steady upward movement and not this rolling over business. Okay? So I just wanted to update you guys on that because I've been watching these charts for a long time and I don't want you guys to get just suddenly wicked out because the cycle is not completed, and then you guys see this kind of waterfall dropping action happening and you guys are questioning, why is it that I'm in cryptocurrency? Well, Parabolic is just going to give you some insight into what this whole cycle process looks like. This here was a 21% drop. This here, you could argue to say that this will also be a 21% drop with a little climb up, only for it to roll over. This here was, if we measure this one here, this here was a 30% correction to the, where are we here? 39% correction to the downside after the cup. You guys see the cup here on the left-hand side? And then there was this 38% correction to the downside. Again, this cup, it went up only to experience a 30 to 40% correction to the downside. So it does happen in these downwards yearly cycles where you see this kind of recovery situation only for it to drop to the downside. So I just want to be cautious, you guys. There's reasons for my technicals. I don't want you guys to be, upset that you missed Ethereum at 3,100. It went to 3,800 and you guys missed out on your entire livelihood. There is still many opportunities for the markets to pull down. And because the stocks are sitting so high and because of the institutions, the bigger institutions, I want to warn you guys, the bigger retail guys are not buying Bitcoin at $100,000. It's hard to rally the coin at that point. They have to buy it lower in order to create that spike. It doesn't even equate to the whole yearly cycle anyways. So there has to be some type of bottoming event in order for it to move up. Now, I'm not saying that this won't be the top, but in the yearly cycle, it would have to take an enormous amount of effort in order to bring it up. And even at that point, I believe that there will be some sort of drop to the downside in order to form, if 6 is truly here, and we're going to hit 7 only to form 8. Either way, 8 has to form below 6. Look at this, guys. I want you guys to understand this. Let's say this is 6. I'm going to take this away. Let's just delete that. Let's just say this is 6. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? 8 has to form below 6. That's a proper wave cycle. It doesn't matter what asset you're trying to measure. The time cycles on a yearly cycle, I mean, let's just say that this is 7 up here. 8 is going to form below 6. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So I don't want you guys to get so jumpy here because the market is moving up. You got to expand your vision. You got to expand your mindset. Do not let these guys wick you out because they can happen. These repeating events happen in down cycles. And I'm going to show you again one more time. W recovery, drop. Consolidation, drop. And again, they move these, they provide the liquidity. They move the cycle up only for it to drop. Again, same here. V-shaped recovery, drop, consolidation, drop, consolidation, drop, and it's just a continuing pattern. So anyways, guys, that's just my analysis. I will update you guys next week, Monday. Thank you again for all the continued support. Parabolic is going to be with you through this whole event here. And if I start to see some bullish momentum, only then will I trade outside the danger zone. The yearly cycle will be broken, and then you can start laddering into certain coins. I will show you which coins you can make 100, 200, 500, even 600% gains. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Take care. We'll see you in the next update.